Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see you. And Eric, if something is not good with the sound, just wave or something. I have two readings that I want to do. One is, the first one is just an excerpt from an article that was in the New York Times called Grieving the Losses of Coronavirus by Lori Gottlieb. When it comes to the coronavirus outbreak, what's the word related to mental health that you hear most? If you said anxiety, you're not alone. But if you were to sit virtually, of course, in a therapist's office, like mine or any of my colleagues, you might hear just as often as the word loss. This is obvious because many people are experiencing the result of this global pandemic. Loss of life, loss of loved ones, loss of health, loss of job and income. For those who are losing loved ones this time, there's also the loss of normal rituals of funerals and communities to grieve together. But what might be less obvious are the smaller losses that also affect our emotional health. As a therapist, I always say that there's no hierarchy of pain. Pain is pain. Suffering shouldn't be ranked because pain is not a contest. I believe too that there's no hierarchy of grief. When we rank our losses, when we validate some and minimize others, many people are left alone to grieve what can become their silent losses. The thinking often goes, you had a miscarriage, but you didn't lose a baby. You had a breakup, but you didn't lose a spouse. It's hard to talk about these silent losses because we fear that other people will find them insignificant and either dismiss them or expect us to get over them relatively quickly. Right now, in addition to the tragic losses of life and health and jobs, are the losses experienced by people of all ages, missed graduations and proms, canceled sports events and canceled sports seasons and performances, postponed weddings and vacations, separation from family and friends when we need them most. We also have lost the predictability that we take granted in daily life, that there will be eggs and toilet paper on supermarket shelves, that we can safely touch a doorknob with our bare hands, that we can get a haircut and our teeth cleaned or spend a Saturday afternoon at the movies. So yes, there is collective anxiety surrounding COVID-19, but there's also collective loss. Here are some ways to help navigate through our losses. 1, acknowledge the grief. Although anxiety is unpleasant, it can be easier to acknowledge anxiety than to acknowledge grief. That's because there are two kinds of anxiety, productive anxiety and unproductive anxiety. We can turn our anxiety into something productive, using our worry to take actions such as hand washing, social distancing, sending meals to elderly relatives, or calling a neighbor who lives alone. Or it can be unproductive, spending all day clicking on the latest coronavirus headlines. Either way, anxiety tends to be active. Grieving, on the other hand, is a much quieter process. It requires us to sit with our pain, to feel a kind of sadness that makes many of us so uncomfortable that we try to get rid of it. Even under normal circumstances, we do this to ourselves and our children. A child might say, "I'm sad," and the parent says, "Oh, don't be sad. Hey, let's go get some ice cream." In the age of coronavirus, a child might say, "I'm so sad that I'm missing seeing my friends every day." And the parent, trying to lessen the child's pain, might say, "But honey, we're so lucky that we're not sick, and you'll get to see your friends soon." The response might be, "I know how sad you are about this. You miss friends so much. It's a big loss not to have this." Just as kids need to have their grief acknowledged, we need to acknowledge our own. We tend to mistake feeling less for feeling better, but it helps to remember that the feelings are still there. They'll just come out in other ways, in an inability to sit still, in being short-tempered, which is especially problematic in close quarters, in a lack of appetite, or a struggle to control one's appetite, in an inability to concentrate or sleep. The more we can say to ourselves and the people around us, "Yes, these are meaningful losses," the more seen and soothed we will feel. The second thing that you can do to address that is stay in the present, and I'm not going to read that part out loud. And the third is let people experience loss in their own way.
Carol,
Yeah?
it's Eric. It seems like your internet connection is really weak. It was getting pretty choppy there. I was wondering if you might be able to step inside and have better Wi-Fi.
Sorry.
For the second part. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going in right now. Sorry about that. Okay, I hope this will be better, and sorry about that. The second thing I wanted to read is a poem called "Accounting" by Lynn Ungar. She's been putting out some beautiful poems that have gone viral. Many of you have seen them about this being like the Sabbath. This one is one that just came on the 25th of March. It's called Accounting. How's the internet connection, Eric? Is it okay? Is it better? Okay.
It's better.
Accounting. How easy it is to get pulled under by the riptide of numbers, the grip of statistics dragging us out in their litany of loss. Some numbers are too large to reckon, knowing that each number is a life. We don't yet know how to mourn the particulars of these sums. For now, count smaller things. Raindrops on the roof, thousands, comfort in a time of drought. Trees visible from my window, 6. One decked in the fluffy pom-poms of spring. Eggs in the refrigerator, 8. Enough for breakfast and possibly cake. Birds in the bush, 2. Nattily attired in black and russet and spots. Dogs at my feet, also 2. Both happy that we're together. I don't know if there is some grand accounting at the end, a God who will weigh your soul against a feather. It seems unlikely, but one way or another, it's probably worth considering what counts.